Welcome to Spotlighting SRJC. I am Robert Agrella, President of Santa Rosa Junior College, and I have the pleasure of being your host in this series of programs. Today, we're going to be looking at the Pepperwood Preserve.
Hello and welcome to today's program. My name is Carrie Campbell Price and I'm Director of Community Education at Santa Rosa Junior College. Today we're going to talk about a new partnership between Santa Rosa Junior College and the Pepperwood Foundation and what that partnership means to the faculty, students, and community members who are interested in environmental education and the natural history of Sonoma County. With me today is Steve Barnhart, Life Sciences Instructor at Santa Rosa Junior College. Steve is a graduate of UC Riverside and has a master's from San Diego State University. He's done graduate work at Stanford University, UC Berkeley, and Arizona State, and is well known for his publications and research in oak ecology. Steve is also the new educational director at the Pepperwood Foundation. Steve, I know you're going to take us on a tour of Pepperwood later in today's program, but can you tell us what the importance of this new partnership is to Santa Rosa Junior College?
Certainly. The partnership with the Pepperwood Foundation began several years ago with preliminary discussions. The Pepperwood Preserve is a nature preserve that has been under the jurisdiction of the California Academy of Sciences since 1979. And then finally it was transferred to the Pepperwood Foundation in the summer of 2005. At that time, Santa Rosa Junior College agreed to work with the Pepperwood Foundation in developing the environmental education programs for the preserve, and we have been busy doing that much of this year.
Are you aware of any other community college in the state with a link to a similar preserve?
You know, I'm not aware of any community college in the state that has a nature preserve. Some have, as we do, school farms or other off-campus facilities. There are, of course, a number of four-year schools, colleges and universities that have nature preserves that they have jurisdiction over. Closest to us would be Sonoma State University and their Fairfield Osborne Preserve on Sonoma Mountain. The Pepperwood Foundation is using as kind of their model of what they hope to develop the Jasper Ridge Preserve, which is administered by Stanford University, and we are in the process of developing, as you will learn in just a moment, some of the programs that are similar to what they have through the Jasper Ridge Preserve.
That sounds terrific. And now, please, introduce us to the Pepperwood Preserve.
Thank you. I'd love to do that. The Pepperwood Preserve is a 3,100-acre nature preserve in eastern Sonoma County, which includes most of the typical landscape types characteristic of that region. Reading from the mission statement, the mission of the preserve is to provide a place where lay people, students, scholars, and researchers can convene to create and disseminate knowledge about the ecosystems of eastern Sonoma County, end quote. The Pepperwood Preserve is located on Franz Valley Road, 1 mile north or above the junction of Franz Valley Road and Mark West Springs Road. The Pepperwood Foundation was established in 2005 by Jane and Herb Dwight, designating the preserve as a permanently protected wildland. The foundation manages the property to promote natural history education, research, and preservation. Stewardship of the preserve was assumed from the California Academy of Sciences, which managed the preserve from 1979 to 2005. The Pepperwood Foundation is a California nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. Santa Rosa Junior College has a long history of affiliation with the Pepperwood Preserve, having utilized the facility for class field trips over the last 20 years. The Pepperwood Foundation has now established a partnership with Santa Rosa Junior College to develop the educational programs for the preserve. These programs are in various stages of development. Some are currently operational, and others are still in the conceptual stage. I would like to take you on a little virtual tour of the preserve to show you some of the varied landscapes. The landscapes or communities of the preserve range from the blue oak woodlands that you see here and chaparral found on the drier sites to dense forests of Douglas fir and bay on the more moist locations. Plants and wildlife species characteristic of each community type are well represented. Open grasslands occupying large areas in the interior of the preserve exhibit beautiful wildflower displays in the spring and early summer. Wetland sites and their characteristic and often unique species of plants and animals are scattered throughout the preserve. These include ponds with the rather rare western pond turtle that you see here, springs and seeps and vernal pools, in this case showing a rare buttercup that's aquatic, and seasonal streams. This is Weimar Falls. The preserve also supports a wide variety of wildlife, which include many species of birds that are either resident or migratory, as well as other life forms, such as a rich assortment of herptiles and other vertebrates, fungi, and lichens. Environmental and natural history education constitute the primary mission of the preserve. This includes the hosting of elementary school groups and nonprofit educational organizations. College students from Santa Rosa Junior College and other colleges and universities have utilized the resources of the preserve for field activities in credit courses such as biology, botany, zoology, natural resource management, astronomy, and anthropology. Extension and other not-for-credit types of courses are also becoming more common. The community education program at Santa Rosa Junior College is developing an expanded series of classes specifically tailored for the Pepperwood Preserve, including such classes as Trees of Pepperwood, Wildflowers of Pepperwood, Nature Photography at Pepperwood, Native American Plant Uses at Pepperwood, and so forth. Collaboration with other institutions includes the Remote Controlled Observatory, recently developed by Sonoma State University to be used in some of their research and education activities. Speaking of research and resource baseline studies have been going on for some time and will continue. These will enable the preserve to educate students, property owners, and local resource agencies about the characteristics of these landscapes and the appropriate management procedures and applications. Educational venues will include short courses, workshops, symposia, and resource management demonstrations. Resource management applications of this research and education will include the development of landscape restoration activities, appropriate grazing regimes, invasive species control, and so forth. Improvements to the existing infrastructure and facilities such as roads and buildings is ongoing. Plans are being finalized for the construction of a 10,000 square foot education center, complete with classrooms, large meeting room, laboratory, and research and demonstration facilities to further enhance the educational mission of the preserve. The Pepperwood Foundation sponsors a variety of activities at the preserve specifically designed for community enrichment and outreach. Other educational activities, such as the development of docent and steward volunteer programs, are being developed in collaboration with Santa Rosa Junior College. These programs will enable the preserve to host community tours, work days for trail maintenance, restoration activities, and the like. The vision of Herb and Jane Dwight, in cooperation with Santa Rosa Junior College, to develop and promote a first-rate environmental education, resource management, and preservation laboratory for the use and enjoyment of all the residents of the North Bay is being realized. For information about how you or your group may be involved, you can contact the Preserve Manager, Michael Galogli, at 542-2080, or Steve Barnhart, Education Director, at 527-4632, or you can visit the Preserve website at pepperwoodpreserve.org.
Steve, that sounds terrific. We look forward to seeing you at the Pepperwood Preserve.
We certainly do.
Thank you for joining us on Spotlighting SRJC, featuring today's program, the Pepperwood Preserve. Hello, and welcome to Spotlighting SRJC. I am Robert Agrella, President of Santa Rosa Junior College, and I have the pleasure of being your host in this series of programs. Today's program will feature Schoen Farm, a unique 365-acre operating farm owned by Santa Rosa Junior College.
Hello, I'm Mary Kay Rudolph. I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Santa Rosa Junior College, and I'm thrilled to be your hostess for this segment of Spotlighting SRJC. Today I have various faculty and staff from the Santa Rosa Schoen Farm, from our agricultural and natural resources areas, and hopefully they'll give you some much needed information about our programs and services here. So Bob Frazier, welcome. We're glad to have you here today. My first question for you is, why is Schoen Farm an integral part of Agriculture and Natural Resources Department at Santa Rosa Junior College?
The Schoen Farm is our outdoor laboratory that complements our curriculum within the Agriculture and Natural Resource Department. The 365-acre Schoen Farm has a myriad of agricultural commodities and then complements our educational program very well.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about how you do things out there. Is it lectures? Is it laboratories? Am I going to have an opportunity to get my hands dirty? What am I doing out there?
I think we have the ability to really have both. We have the options of having some lecture classes on campus and the ability of taking students to the farm for some laboratories, but we do have the Richard Thomas classroom where we have the ability to have lecture classes on the farm and then take the students out to the field for some practical experiences. We really believe the hands-on learning is an important educational philosophy for us in the Agriculture and Natural Resource Department.
And I guess I should have asked you this first, but where is Schoen Farm? Is that in town or is it outside of the campus somewhere?
Schoen Farm is about 20 minutes west of Santa Rosa. It's out toward River Road, toward Forestville, off Hillsborough-Trenton Road.
Okay. And you said it's how many acres?
It's 365 acres.
Okay. And what are the different courses that I would take out there if I were a student working at
Well,
Schoen
boy,
Farm?
just a myriad of programs, the viticulture program, animal science, equine, our environmental conservation, sustainable agriculture. We even bring our agriculture business classes out to Schoen Farm. And with the Warren G. Dutton Agriculture Pavilion, we're going to have the opportunity of having wine studies and food processing, complementing an indoor arena that will be discussed later in the show.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you, Bob.
Sure.
And I think next we're going to be talking to Leonard Diggs, and he is our Schoen Farm manager. In case you're just joining us, we're talking today about Schoen Farm and our Agriculture and Natural Resources departments, and I have Leonard Diggs with me, and Leonard is going to talk to us about the farm. He is the farm manager, and so give me some information, Leonard. Why is Schoen Farm important, both to the college but also to the community?
It's important, as Bob had mentioned earlier, because it's the outdoor laboratory for the Ag department, and as the outdoor laboratory has a very sterile sound to it, but when it's a farm, it really means a place where you can do and learn by doing, and have a place where you can learn to farm and learn some of the practices, the cultural practices, which is unique in an agricultural situation, to actually have a place where you can go and get the vocational training that you need, the occupational training. So we try to provide an opportunity for students to learn as much as they can about farming. And that's made possible because the Schoen Farm is a working farm. It's actually not just static. We actually do everything that any farm would do in our community, and we produce crops that are sold as they would be sold by any other farm. So students have an opportunity to get that experience and learn about the financial realities of farming too. The other thing that we do is we provide an outlet for the community in terms of doing practices that are relevant for the community of agriculture in our venue. They want to know specifically, what are some of the cultural practices current in viticulture? Well, we can demonstrate those. They want to be able to have workshops at the farm, and currently we have Sonoma County grape growers coming out annually to do an integrated pest management workshop. We've been hosting the countywide pruning and the statewide pruning contest up at Schoen Farm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a great outlet for the community too to interact and for us to serve the community as a community college does.
Now, I actually came in on the tail end of buying some vegetables from Schoen Farm, and is that open to the community, or was that something that was just with the college community this last year?
Yeah, primarily we've been using what we call our closest community, which is the campus faculty, staff, and students, and we've been selling through a farm stand on campus.
Right.
And we sell to the culinary department, which has our product in the culinary cafeteria. And we also sell to the cafeteria, the main cafeteria, which provides cooked product to all of the campus. So we have a direct relationship there, and that opportunity, that is an opportunity for students to learn how to direct market product.
So they're learning how to do everything from choose what seeds, learn how to do planting, how to make sure that they're appropriately deciding whether they're going to use pesticides or not, or what's managing the water, growing the product, and then selling it?
Yes, from seed to harvest.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and as we teach them, the market drives the product.
Okay.
And so we want them to know, if you have a market, what is it that the market wants, what does the consumer want, and then you start planting your seed, not after, or not before, I should say.
Have I missed anything, Leonard, that's of great import that we should be telling the audience?
I think come to Schoen Farm, enjoy.
So they could call you and make an appointment to come out and see Schoen Farm?
They could, but the best opportunity is to take a class and then to be able to have that opportunity to extend your relationship with the class and work at the farm, do special projects at the farm.
Great. Thank you, Leonard.
Welcome.
Okay. I think we're going to ask Bob to come back and join us now and have a couple more questions for Leonard with Bob. Thank you. Our next segment, we have the opportunity to talk with Casey Wade. Casey is our program coordinator for natural resources, and we're going to ask her what that means. Hi, Casey.
Hi.
So what does the program coordinator for natural resources do, and what exactly do you mean by natural resources program?
Well, I'm responsible for putting the courses together for the students for their study in environmental conservation and natural resources.
Okay.
And we have a variety of courses that we teach out at Schoen Farm.
Okay, what kind of courses do you have out there, Casey?
We have various forestry courses, fish and wildlife, parks and recreation, watershed restoration, those kinds of environmental studies.
And when a student takes those classes, are they in a lecture classroom, or are they out tramping around? What's my experience like as a
Most of the
student?
time when we're at Schoen, we're in the 150-acre forest.
Okay.
And so we are hiking the trails that are out there and measuring the trees and maybe designing campsites and doing wildlife surveys, those kinds of things.
Okay, interesting. What kind of concepts and skills would I get if I were a student in your programs?
You would basically learn how to manage wildlands without compromising the ecosystem.
Okay.
You'd learn how to look at a system and understand where there might be problems in that system with watershed runoff or with forest disease or any other problems like that.
And then once I've completed your program, Casey, what kind of a job would I get?
Most of our students are getting jobs as technicians in the environmental conservation field. They're working for Parks and Recreation. They're also working for nonprofits in watershed, nonprofit groups.
Okay.
And they also work for the Forest Service and the Park Service and other government agencies.
Okay, so those sound like jobs that are pretty much available all over the country.
And the jobs are increasing.
Are they right now?
They are. As long as there's ecosystems to help restore, there will always be jobs.
Great. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Next, we're going to talk to another Casey. This is our final guest today, is another Casey Cole-Cottrell. She's also a faculty at Santa Rosa Junior College, and I'll let Casey tell us what she does.
I'm the program coordinator for our animal science and equine science programs that we offer out at Schoen Farm.
Okay, and Casey, what are the recent developments in livestock production and management that you're teaching out at Schoen Farm?
One of the biggest developments in Sonoma County right now is the growth of the equine population. Currently, Sonoma County houses the second largest horse population in the state of California, and it's continuing to grow. There's roughly 1 horse for every 30 people in Sonoma County, and all those people are always eager to expand their knowledge about the purchases of horses they might have, the nutrition of those horses, reproduction, and we currently offer courses to meet those needs. And with the new development of the Warren G. Dutton Pavilion, as well as our new stables we're putting in, outdoor arena and round pen, we'll really be able to expand the needs of that community and to join the classes that we're already currently offering.
Okay. Now, when you offer classes, do I have to take an entire semester if I were going to take equine classes? Are they on the weekends, weekdays? When are you offering those
Absolutely
classes?
not. We try and make them as user-friendly as they possibly can be.
Okay.
For some people that can only attend evening classes, we offer an extensive listing of equine courses, and the same thing for our animal science program as well. Some of them are 6 weeks, some of them are a full semester long, and we're really going to be excited once we have our new pavilion to offer community-based education classes as well that will just be educational opportunities that people can come for a weekend and get a quick bite for the knowledge they're seeking.
Now, I have a girlfriend in Oklahoma, and she's a horse whisperer, and she spends a lot of money doing equine acupressure and going to classes. Would you offer things like that?
We currently do. In fact, we have one of the world's foremost specialists in equine acupressure and massage, Diana Thompson, teaching for us. It's a short course, a 6-week session where you come and sit in laboratory or lecture sessions, and then you actually go out and practice for an entire day working on horses. And because it's been received so heavily and welcomed into the community, we are also getting ready to offer a canine acupressure and massage course as well.
Wow. Now, am I bringing my own horse, or are you supplying them?
We supply the horses.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for coming today. Is there anything else that I should have asked you and didn't, Casey?
No, we encourage everybody to come out if you're just interested in learning to ride for the first time or learning the difference between a cow and a bull. You're welcome to come out and see that at Schoen Farm.
Great, Casey. Well, I want to thank all of our guests for joining us here today to talk about Schoen Farm, agriculture, natural resource. We have a wide variety of opportunities for short classes, full-term classes, lecture lab. It looks like we have it all out at Schoen Farm.
Thank you for joining us on Spotlighting SRJC, today featuring Schoen Farm. Hello and welcome to Spotlighting SRJC. I am Robert Agrella, President of Santa Rosa Junior College, and I have the pleasure of being your host in this series of programs that will feature many of the outstanding educational as well as student services programs offered here at Santa Rosa Junior College. Today's program will feature some information about our Transfer Center. The center is established to give students an opportunity to learn more about how they can make Santa Rosa Junior College's educational experience better for them and ease their transfer into a four-year college or university.
Hello, my name is Roberta Delgado. I'm a counselor and the Transfer Center Director at Santa Rosa Junior College. The Transfer Center is the place where the college brings together the information resources, the services, and activities for students who want to come to SRJC and then move on to get a bachelor's degree at a university. So you can think about being a transfer student at SRJC as actually starting your bachelor's degree right here. And thus our theme is University Starts Here. I'd like to give you a general idea about how community colleges serve as your pathway to a university and give you a chance to hear from some university representatives about how that pathway fits into their institution's mission. Last, I'd like to show you how to find out more about the transfer process and how SRJC can support you in that process. First, let's talk about the transfer process and how it works. The chart that you see describes the progress of a student who enters SRJC and wants to go to a university, we speak about that progress in the same way that you might think about high school progress toward a diploma. We talk about freshman, sophomore, and junior years. The freshman and sophomore year is the lower division, the junior and senior year, the upper division. Each one of those years is about 30 units. Students complete 3 kinds of courses: general education courses, courses that help them prepare to enter their major at the university, and then many students have some electives that they can take. You'll also perhaps notice that at the point that the student has 60 units and is going on to the university, they also can qualify for an SRJC associate degree, so you can receive that on your way. We have agreements between the universities and the community colleges in which the universities tell us that the courses that we offer for our freshmen and sophomores are enough the same as the ones that they are offering their freshmen and sophomores, that they will accept them so that students can indeed complete coursework here and have everything come together so that they can go to the university fully prepared to enter their junior year and move as quickly as possible toward the bachelor's degree. When students move on to the university, they may have some upper division general education and electives to complete, but most of the work they will do there will be courses in their major. Now, let's talk to some university representatives and get their perspective on transfer. I now have here with me Bob Ferrando. Bob comes to us from the University of California at Davis, the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, where he is the coordinator of the Transfer Opportunity Program. Thanks for coming, Bob, and welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
And I'm hoping that you can tell our audience how the transfer of students from the community colleges fits into the mission of the University of California.
Well, the University of California really welcomes and loves having transfer students. In fact, part of our mission is to offer the opportunity for students who start their bachelor's degrees at the community college to come to us and finish their bachelor's degrees. And I think it's important that, as you've said, that students think of their time here at Santa Rosa Junior College as starting their bachelor's degrees, at really beginning their time at the university and preparing to move on. UC has put as a matter of policy that all UC campuses will look at transfer students who transfer to us as juniors, that is, they've finished at least 60 transferable units here, give them top priority for admission. That's to say that we will admit a junior transferring from SRJC before we will admit a student coming to us who wants to come to us from another UC campus, before we will admit a student who wants to transfer from CSU, a California State University, before we will admit a person transferring from an independent college or university. So transfer students from community colleges really do have top priority. And what we're looking for is students who've demonstrated that they're good students. They're good students here at SRJC. And what we mean by that is that they've taken the courses that we want, they've earned the grades that we want, and should focus their course on major preparation. Very often students will say, well, I'm going to the JC to do my general education and then move on to the university. And we say, nah, we'd like you to refocus that thinking. If there were one of me from each of the UC campuses, we would speak as a chorus and say, prepare for your major. Take those courses that when you do transfer allow you to move on into the upper division advanced coursework for your major. Some students start at the JC as they start with us, having a fixed idea of what they'd like to study as their major, and then very often change their minds. And that's okay. That's, exploring their academic options should be something that they do here at Santa Rosa Junior College. And students should certainly early and often work with the counselors here at Santa Rosa. There's a very fine group of counselors at Santa Rosa. Work with the Transfer Center, which is a model for the state of California among transfer centers. And when students find the major that they're interested in, then focus on that preparation. Do general education as it fits, but think of themselves as moving toward their bachelor's degree and really establishing that foundation for the work they'll do when they come on to the university. And when they get to the university, I think they'll find that if they've been good students here at Santa Rosa, they'll continue to be good students at the University of California. Certainly the studies that we've done show that that's true. Students can get a superb education at SRJC, at many community colleges throughout the state. And if students are confident in their ability to be good students, have really honed their study skills, then they'll take those with them when they come to the university, continue on, and do very, very well. I think too that students have an opportunity here to take advantage of some special transfer programs. Several of the UC campuses, mine, UC Davis for example, offer a transfer guarantee so that a year before a student transfers, he or she can sign a guarantee, sign that document stating that they are assured a place at the campus in the major when they want to come. And it's important to take advantage of those kinds of opportunities. Work with counselors, see the representatives from UC when they come here. Santa Rosa and UC Davis have a very special relationship. I come here once a week, every Thursday, and students interested in UC Davis can come and see me in the transfer center. Other UC campuses will bring representatives here. So there are many opportunities for students to do well academically at SRJC, to take advantage of programs in association with the University of California, prepare well, move on, and finish their degrees at UC.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
You're welcome.
So we've heard from the University of California about how community college students can transfer to that set of institutions. And I'm now joined by Vida Smith. Vida comes to us from Sonoma State University, where she is an Associate Director of Admissions. Welcome, Vida.
Thank you.
And perhaps you can tell us how the connection between community colleges like Santa Rosa Junior College and the California State Universities like Sonoma State works to help students transfer and complete a bachelor's degree.
Sure. Will do. As you know, Sonoma State University is one of the 23 campuses within the California State University system. And we appreciate transfers of students from the community college because they bring a wealth of information and diversity to the campus itself.
And so what are some of the things that Sonoma State, for example, does to connect with Santa Rosa Junior College?
Well, one of the most important programs that we hold on an annual basis is the Community College Counselors Conference, where we educate the counselors for the day on the admissions requirements for the upcoming years, and then they turn around and educate the students.
And then I know that there are some things that you do for the students directly.
Sure. We, the admissions staff at Sonoma State University will go out to the local community colleges and do a transfer center visit. And what we do is we meet with students for 20 minutes to offer them advice on what they can do to be admitted to the university. And sometimes that leads to an instant admissions program that we also conduct, where we give students on-the-spot admissions determination.
So then how does all of that work then in the end to help students come to, say, Sonoma State and finish their bachelor's degree?
Okay. Well, if we take a look at this chart, as you can see, transfer students from the community college can complete most of their general education at the community college and transfer up to 70 units. So therefore, once they're at the university, they just focus on their major coursework and can obtain their bachelor's degree within a timely manner. Most can do it within 2 to 2.5 years, finish up their bachelor's degree.
That's wonderful. Well, as you can see, again, there's a very strong connection between the community colleges and the university system, and we're very fortunate we have a California State University right here in our backyard, and indeed many Santa Rosa Junior College students do transfer on to Sonoma State to complete their bachelor's degree. Thank you. So we have heard from someone from the University of California, from the California State University, and now I have with me Rosa Turner. Rosa is the director of the Santa Rosa Regional Campus of the University of San Francisco. And Rosa, perhaps you can tell our audience something about some of the differences, perhaps, between the independent schools, as University of San Francisco is, and the public institutions.
Thanks, Roberta. You know, they're really the major difference in transfer that comes to mind is that independent schools and colleges are tuition driven, and so it's not state funded or federal funded. Other than that, I don't think there is much difference in transfer because all of the requirements are the same. What we appreciate the most about is transfer students from Santa Rosa Junior College and community colleges in general in California is that they come to us so well prepared. They come at all different levels, freshman through senior, but I'd have to say that the majority of the students that USF accepts come to us at a junior status so that they've done the majority of their work in the core curriculum classes here at SRJC. What we like the most about the students that transfer is that they are so well prepared. Their retention rate is higher. They're a more committed student and they're very driven. And I think too, because they're coming to us at an independent school and they're paying a higher tuition rate, they're even more of a committed students. And as a result of that, I think that the university is strongly committed to that transfer student to get them out in a timely manner, which they do. They graduate at a very high success rate. What they bring to the university system that we appreciate is that they are very mature. They're strong academically, very strong academically. They've chosen an independent school probably based on some value system that they have, and that also makes them committed to the university itself, and so they're more integrated into the activities and the diversity and bring a really wonderful perspective, and it's a very enriching experience to have a transfer student. SRJC does an excellent job of preparing the students, and I think that we do an excellent job of helping them get through in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us today's program on the Transfer Center. We hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to our next program in this series of Spotlighting SRJC. Hello, I'm Robert Agrella, President of Santa Rosa Junior College, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to this segment of Spotlighting SRJC. Today's program features James Newman, who joined the college last year as our new Artistic Director of Summer Repertory Theater, commonly known as SRT. I'm sure many of you are familiar with SRT, which, for the past 36 years, has provided our area with some of the finest summer theater available in the Bay Area. James joined SRJC from Seattle, Washington, where he was teaching theater at Shoreline Community College and serving as Artistic Director of Grex, a collaborative theater company committed to producing new and classic works. Please welcome James as he discusses with Carrie Campbell-Price, the college's Dean for Continuing Education, the upcoming 2007 season of Summer Repertory Theater.
Hi, my name is Carrie Campbell-Price, and I'm here today with James Newman, the new Artistic Director of Summer Repertory Theater, or SRT. James, SRT is now in its 36th season, but it is your second season. So tell us about your background, how you happened to come to SRT.
Great, yes, I arrived last January, And so I got to do a full season that Frank Zielinski, who I replaced, who had retired, had planned. So it was a good learning opportunity for me to come in and sort of just hang on for dear life as the season tears through 11 weeks in the summer. So I moved here from Seattle, where I was teaching at a college called Shoreline Community College in North Seattle. I was also concurrently the artistic director of a small theater company called Grex that I started in the early 90s. We produced contemporary and sort of reworked classics. I did a lot of adaptations and new plays, and so this job is actually a great job for me because it was these two jobs I had as a teacher and then as an artistic director, and this is those two jobs in one. So I moved here in January and we were off and running, and now I am busy planning for our 2007 season.
Great, great. So this is really your first season to put your handprint, if you will, on the whole season.
It is, and it's been really exciting. Coming together with the other people in the program and picking the 5 plays and musicals that we're doing, making sure that they really work together, making sure they're great for the audience and provide opportunities for the students. It's been really exciting. I'm really I'm overjoyed at the planning process for this year.
Well, tell us about the 2007 season.
Great. Well, we're doing something a little bit different. I ended up picking 3 musicals and 2 plays rather than what Frank had done for a number of years, which was 2 musicals and 3 plays. Everyone, I think, is going to think that it's because I am so gung-ho on musicals, which I am, but I just found the best 5 productions that went well together. And so it didn't matter if they were musicals or plays. These 5 just really captured my attention, and I think it's going to be fantastic for the audience. So we're starting with the big company show is a musical called The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which is this fantastic it's sort of a play within a play. It's this loony Victorian theater company, Music Hall Royale, that is producing the musical version of Dickens' The Mystery of Edwin Drood. So as they go along, they're enacting. So it's the 2 things. It's the company, and then it's actually the story of Edwin Drood. Well, Dickens died before he finished Edwin Drood, as many people will know. And so the greatest feature of this play, and I think the audience is really going to love it, is that we get to the point where Dickens stopped writing, and then the audience gets to choose the endings. So it's a mystery, right? So they get to choose who the murderer is, they get to choose who the detective is, and then they get to choose who the lovers that end up together are. So there's, I think, about 16 possible endings that are all musical numbers. So the audience actually votes. The cast members come around and they tally up the votes, and then we take them in the back, and while another number is going on, they're tallying it up. So every night will be completely different. So I'm telling people you might want to see it twice because you'll see a different show every time. It's very exciting. The music is a sort of big, that traditional Broadway music. It won a number of Tonys when it first came out in 1986, I believe it was. So it's exciting. I'm directing that play, so it's a great opportunity for me. I directed last season as well, so I'm very excited to direct that. So Drood is our first musical. Our second musical is a play or musical called Working, which is based on the book by Studs Terkel, which came out in the late 70s, which many people are familiar with. This Studs Terkel's interviewed working people in and around Chicago, and he wrote this very long book that is a fantastic read. It's real people's lives. And it was set to music in the late 70s, and then it was revamped in the 90s. And they added some music by James Taylor. The main composer is Stephen Schwartz. So it's literally a very presentational style musical with monologues and songs that tell the story of the mill worker and the secretary and the waitress, and it's real people's lives, and I think it's really poignant and actually very touching about what these people, these sort of unsung heroes in our community, are, what they face every day. The music is great, as you can imagine, with James Taylor. There's a lot of sort of folk music. It's sort of funky folk music, is what I keep calling it. So it's varied, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. So our third musical, all of these are playing in Burbank Auditorium. Our third musical is a musical called Tick, Tick, Boom, which I love. I read, this was actually the one that sort of took me over the edge and made me want to do 3 musicals rather than 2, because I just fell in love with it. And Tick, Tick, Boom is by the composer Jonathan Larson, who many people may know from the musical Rent. He's well known for the musical Rent. Unfortunately, Jonathan died of a sort of freak brain aneurysm right when Rent was going to Broadway, when it was previewing on Broadway. And after Jonathan's death, Rent obviously became this huge hit. You know, an entire generation was drawn to Rent. And then after the success of Rent, they went back and looked at some of his earlier work, and they sort of discovered this, what became the musical of Tick, Tick, Boom. And it's autobiographical. It tells the story of Jonathan and his girlfriend and his best friend. And it's about his life before Rent and about how close he came to actually giving up his dreams, which I find, you know, incredibly poignant. Not only because he died, but because many of us as artists go through that period of, at what cost do we, what's the price for pursuing your dreams? And thankfully, he kept pursuing it, and we ended up with Rent, and this is the story. So the music it's that rock and roll music. Music's very, very similar to the music in Rent in tenor and tone. So you can expect a rock and roll band. You can expect a really contemporary sound, which I think will be a great balance for these other musicals. So those are the 3 musicals, as I said, all in Burbank Auditorium, all very, very different, very exciting. And then we move on to our 2 plays, which will be playing in Newman Auditorium. The first of which is a classic. I feel pretty strongly about introducing classics into our season. I think it's important to just revisit some of these really wonderful plays that's I think it's important for our students and to know a sense of history and where theater came from. And they're overlooked comedy classics. So I'm starting with a play by Molière called The Learned Ladies. Many people will have heard of Molière's Imaginary Invalid or his Miser or Tartuffe. This is one of his other plays that is about a household that sort of has gone mad. Like all of Molière, it's about class struggle and satire of his contemporary world. So it's this, you know, fairly spineless husband that has allowed his household to be overrun by a pedant who is a fool and is taken the entire household, which is his wife and his sister and his 2 daughters. Most of the household is just enamored of this person, and they end up making fools out of themselves, and it's social satire. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be challenging for our students. It's going to be so much fun to see and listen to. You know, it's 17th century costumes will be very, very beautiful. And I chose to do it in Newman Auditorium so that we did get the sense of the intimacy of that. Newman Auditorium it's this great little gem of a theater where you get to be up close and personal. So you'll get to see these beautiful costumes that we're going to make. It's going to be easier, I think, to get into the language, which is a rhyming verse, which is a lot of fun. But I think in a larger theater, it seems somehow distancing, and I really wanted to make sure that it was right there, and we got how important and exciting this work, even though it was written so long ago, really is. So that's number 4, and number 5 is an adaptation of The Talented Mr. Ripley, which is based on the Patricia Highsmith novel. I think many people know the novel, certainly. It's still a very popular novel. And then there was a movie not so long ago, within the last 10 years, I think.
Right.
The play is, for people that know the movie and the novel, the play sort of rides in the middle. It's fantastically theatrical. It's poetic. It's dark. It's dreamy. It's a very different kind of play. It's non-realistic in that the play, and this is one of the wonderful things about theater, is that it can happen in multiple times and places all at the same. So it's a melange of this story, and it's the kind of thing that can only happen in the theater. So it's an exciting story. It's hopefully a story that people will want to come because they know this story. But once there, I think it really captures so much of the heart of that story and what the truth is in a very poetic way. So those are my 5. But I have another little secret that we're doing. We're actually doing a 6th play. I may be crazy, but we're doing a 6th play, and we're doing a children's play. Frank had set up this tradition, for the past 35 years of doing a family play. And when I was picking the season, I found it, I was having a hard time wrapping my mind around it. And after the success of Seussical last year and Beauty and the Beast the year before, I really did want to do something for kids. But what I ended up deciding was let's let the season, the 5-show season, be for our subscribers, be for our perhaps some older children and families, and then let's do something just for the kids. So we're doing late in the season, the last 4 weeks of the season, we'll have matinees of a children's show. I can't tell you the name yet, and this is the secret part of it, but I think it would be fair to think along the lines of Disney. So I'll leave it in at that. So those are our 5 plus the children's show. That's our 2007 season.
Sounds like a great season.
Thanks.
What else is going to be new with SRT?
Well, SRT, in coming into this job, the SRT is such a wonderful program, and Frank is known and loved, and he set this program up wonderfully. So there weren't a tremendous amount of things that I had to come in and make any changes. So I'm so thankful for that. And so I think the audience isn't going to see a tremendous amount of new direction. I have no interest in taking SRT and molding it around what I want or what I like. I think it works well. So there are a few things that I'm excited about. As many people will have noticed, I've changed the logo. I've sort of updated that. I'm trying to give it this sunny, disposition that is summer repertory theater. Trying to get some vibrant colors in there, and then that sort of has gone from the logo into some of the programs. I had one program last year which people seem to be really excited about. It just streamlined that. One of the biggest things I'm excited about is just a new website. We overhauled the website. There's a lot of information on it now. There's so many pictures. There's pictures of the last couple of seasons, and there weren't enough pictures on the old website because the pictures are so beautiful, and it will remind you of the plays that you saw. It's this wonderful, these little moments. So go to the new website, which is www.summerrep.com. Has pictures, and starting in January, we're going to have online ticketing. So you will be able to actually go to the website, buy tickets. You can print them out at home. You walk into the theater, we scan the ticket, and you're on your merry way. So hopefully that will streamline things, update things a little bit, so that make it more like people are used to doing. I think many people are used to doing that. Box office will still exist, so those of you that want to call or come by the box office will still have that, but we're just trying to give us a few more options. We're also doing something really neat. We're housing our students in a different way. For the first 35 years, we really relied on the kindness of our patrons and our community members to help us house students for the summer. And that was a fantastically generous of people. Last year I decided that it might be better to move forward if I found a situation that was different than that. So our partners at SSU, Sonoma State, are housing our students in the summer. It's a great opportunity for them to be all together, which I think is important as a company, and for learning for just their own both personal and learning experience. It's been a great situation. But here's my plug. Because of when the program starts, SRT actually begins on graduation day, which is May 26th this year, and SSU's graduation day is the same time. We actually can't get our students in to their dormitories or their campus apartments right away. So, as we did last year, we're looking for those kind individuals that are willing to take a student for just a week on the beginning part of that program, the end of May 26th through whatever that June date is, and I should know that, but I don't. But so if there is anyone out there that is interested in helping us out in that way, we would really appreciate it, and we can be contacted either via the website or our on-campus office, which you can get. 707-527-4419 is our number. Okay, there's my plug.
Well,
Moving on.
I have to say, we did that last year, and
That's right,
it
you
was
did.
fabulous. I
Thank
felt
you.
like a stage mom. I'd go to the plays and say, "Oh, I know, that's my daughter," which wasn't really, but it was great. It really added to my enjoyment of the season. So I hope everybody out there takes advantage of it. It's a great opportunity. So tell us how students get involved with SRT. How do you get to participate in SRT?
Well, I personally do end up doing a lot of recruiting, but a lot of that just starts with student interest. I mean, we are, as much as we exhibit ourselves to the public as a professional theater, we are first and foremost a training program. And so these students are all enrolled in classes, and we're very serious about making sure their educational opportunity over the summer is of the highest caliber. So the easiest way, if there are interested students out there, to contact us is through that website. Again, www.summerrep.com. There's a button for Apply to SRT. It takes you to a page. You can just fill out the application, and it's forwarded on to us. It's the easiest way to let us know you're interested, and then we end up contacting people that way based on what they're interested in. We generally have 125 students. Very few of them are actually our actors, which I think is most people don't know. You see the actors up on stage, but there's only maybe 25 actors in our company, and then about 100 people working backstage in the costume shop, in the scene shop, welding, painting, doing props. They're in the box office. They're everywhere. So we really need people for all of those things. So not just actors, and I can't emphasize this enough. We're looking for students who want to have a good time and want to learn something about this industry as well. We have, like I said, we have opportunities in the box office. You know, these are jobs that exist out there in the world that you can be trained for and go on and have a fun, you know, career in that respect, or in our business office or the front of house. There's many different ways to be involved. There's also lots of opportunities for community members to be involved. If you've loved SRT, as so many of you do over the past 35 years, and you want to volunteer, we have many opportunities for that. We have ushers, we have lots of opportunities, and we love it when people contact us and say, I want to be a part. It's a really important aspect of this program, and one that I have been just so overjoyed since I've been here this year to see. I feel like I've been so welcomed by the community, and so many people last year came up to me and told me how happy they were to have me, and that's just, it's very touching, and it makes me just so thankful to be a part of the Santa Rosa Junior College community and the Santa Rosa community. So www.summerrep.com to apply.
Great. Thank you, James. We're delighted to have you, and we're looking forward to this season.
Thanks very much, Carrie.
Thank you for joining us for this week's program of Spotlighting SRJC.